Hi, third grade. It's Miss B here. I'm so glad to see you today, and I hope that everyone is doing well and having a good time at home, but hopefully learning some new things. Well, this is a little bit different, isn't it? I'm going to be actually going to teach you about art through the screen. And we're going to be actually doing art lessons together and creating things together. So it's not just going to be sitting and watching Miss B talk the whole time. You're going to also be creating stuff. And how this is going to work is Miss B is going to be doing 2 videos a week on Mondays and Wednesdays. Okay, Mondays and Wednesdays are art days. And usually what will happen is that on Monday, we'll learn about the project, we'll get it drawn out or whatever it is that we need to do for step 1. And then on Wednesday, it's gonna be step 2 of whatever our project is. Usually that's when we add color or do something like that to the project. So that's what to expect every week from me. Okay, so this week, we are actually gonna be rewinding, okay? We're gonna be, fast forwarding. We were gonna be learning next project about space. Now, not like outer space. That would be pretty cool though, wouldn't it? But it's not outer space, okay? No planets or stars. That's not what we're gonna be doing. We're talking about the space that is around you. And how do you focus on space in art? Okay, it is one of the principles of art, actually. That means it's like one of the rules that artists follow that we always pay attention to, and that is space. What does the space look like in our art? How are we using our space? Are we using it so that things are crowded? Are we using it so things are not crowded? And how we use space is we think of it in 2 terms, okay? Positive space and negative space. When we think about positive space, think of it as, oh, it's a good thing. Positive, right? It's a good thing that there's lots of detail here. Positive space. Negative space. It's not a good thing. There's no detail there. It's all plain white. Okay, negative space means no detail, and positive space means lots of detail. Now, this is going to be very important when we're doing our project together. All right, so let's get started with our project, and I'll show you all the tools that you're going to need for today. So you are going to need 2 pieces of paper. One is going to be for a stencil. The other one's going to be for your final drawing. You're going to need a pair of scissors. Now remember to grab some that are the right size for you. If your parents say that it's fine to use a bigger pair, that's fine, but get their permission first. And you're going to need a pencil. Okay, these are the things you're going to need: 2 pieces of paper, scissors, and a pencil. Now let's get started. Okay, third grade. So what you see here are Miss B's supplies. I have my scissors, my pencil, my 2 pieces of paper, as well as Miss B grabbed her permanent marker. Now the permanent marker is more just for the sake of the camera so that you guys can see what I am doing here. If you like how that looks, you are welcome to outline yours with a black marker. It does not need to be a permanent marker, but you can just choose if that's something that you like or don't like. So we're gonna set one of the pieces of paper aside at first. And what we're gonna first do is we are gonna create a stencil, okay? A stencil is something that you cut out and you trace around, okay? So we are gonna be creating flowers. Now you can copy Miss B's flower, or you can create your own flower. That's just fine. But if you're someone who prefers to follow along, you can just copy Miss B's flower, no problem, okay? Now we're doing a flower because it's springtime, and it's really fun to get to do things like that. Now, when we are creating our flowers, we're not gonna be making them very complicated, but we also don't want them to be too simple. If I were to just, for example, draw a circle, and I called that my stencil, when I trace that, it wouldn't be very exciting to look at. It would just be a big white circle. So what we are gonna do is I'm gonna be creating a daisy. Now, how I do that is I first draw a circle in the middle to be the center of my flower. And now I'm gonna draw loops to be the petals. So I start on one end in the center, pull it out, come back around. Now these can be long, they can be different sizes, because flowers are not always the same. Now this is just my first layer of petals, because I'm then gonna do another layer behind it. Because like I said, I wanted it to be interesting, right? Okay. So here is my flower there. Then I'm gonna go behind and I'm gonna make U shapes to make it appear that there are more flower petals behind those other ones. Remember to pause the video and rewind if you need to, if I'm going too fast for you. Okay, finally, I'm going to, well, not finally, but the next step is I'm gonna add a stem to my flower. If you want to give your flower a leaf, this is a good time to add a leaf for your flower. And that will go all the way to the bottom of your paper. Okay, hope you can see that. Let's see. Okay, so it goes all the way to the bottom of your paper. Now, we're gonna be doing negative space. So Miss B knows that my flower is not gonna have any detail in it. Our positive space is gonna be all around in the background here. So if we remember, positive space has lots of detail, okay? Lots of detail. That means the negative space areas do not have a lot of detail. So if I want to make it interesting, I'm going to want to draw some simple shapes that I will cut out to make my flower a little bit more interesting. So I'm just doing some more of these kind of teardrop petal shapes. Now, as I'm drawing this and I'm adding more of my details, I'm keeping in mind that I have to cut this out with a scissor, so I don't want it to be too complicated. If you do accidentally make it too complicated, you can just simplify it by erasing it or just not cutting out that area. All right, so here is my flower and it is all ready to go. I'm ready to cut it out. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start obviously on the easy spots, okay? I'm going to start cutting around here. Now, as I'm cutting this out, I'm gonna talk about some good things. So I'm sure that you remember in your classrooms and sometimes even in the art room, we would do our good things. That is where we call on somebody to tell us something good. Because there's lots of good things in the world that we could be celebrating and remembering the good things that God has given us, because every day it's good to find a little bit of something that gives you joy and makes you happy. So I'm going to share with you, since I can't just like call on people, I'm going to share with you 2 good things from Miss B. So let's see. One of my good things is, oh, you guys all know Remus, right? Well, Remus went to the vet, which is the animal doctor, and the vet said that the new medicine that he's on is doing a good job and that it's not harming his body. And so most of you know that Remus gets sick a lot, and so it's been really good to hear from that doctor, from that vet, that Remus is doing okay. So that's one of my good things. And maybe here at the end of the video, I will show you Remus and he'll get to say hello to you guys, because he does sure miss you guys. And I know that this 3rd grade class, you guys really like Remus and you've gotten to see a lot of silly videos about him. Let's see if I can find some more silly videos while we're at home over the next while, okay? Because that would be fun to share with you guys too. Another good thing, this one is just really kind of silly if you think about it, but it brought Miss B a lot of happiness this morning. I went to Starbucks this morning, which I haven't been to Starbucks in a while, so that was really nice. But then, goodness gracious, my coffee tasted so good this morning. Oh, I was so happy. And so that is my second good thing, is that my coffee tasted fantastic today. Okay, so I have my flower here. Now, remember we said we have all these little details. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm going to just kind of fold my paper over a little bit like this. And inside of these areas I wanna cut out, I'm just going to kind of pinch and cut a little slit. Do you see that? Okay, and I'm going to cut that all out. Okay, so what you see here is my stencil flower that I had cut out. And what we're gonna do is you're gonna take your second piece of paper and you're gonna put that stencil right on top of it like this. Okay, and what you're gonna do then is you're gonna simply take your pencil, line up your flower so that it hits the bottom of the paper, or wherever I guess you want it to be, that's fine. I'm gonna make mine like in the center. And you are going to begin to trace it. Okay, so you're gonna follow the outside and inside to create all of your details. So once you take off your stencil, you will see the drawing of your flower is there. Now the inside of this flower, that is our negative space. That is always going to stay white. And then on Wednesday, we will see how we add detail behind it and adding color. If you would like to jump ahead and get started, you may. Just make sure that you are drawing details with a pencil in the background, whatever details you want them to be. They could be a pattern, a line design. You could put the flower in a place. It could be outside, it could be inside, whatever details you would like it to have. But our flower on the inside will always stay white. This whole flower will be white. Alrighty, if you need to, write a P and an N so you know what is going to be positive space. That's the spot with the details. P's and N's so that you remember that that's a spot with no detail. Thanks for joining me today in creating the first part of our project that has to do with the principle of space, positive and negative space. So what we learned today was that positive space has all of the details in there and negative space has no details. It is usually left all white or colored in all black. Now, tune in on Wednesday so you can see the second half of this project and how we are going to finish it up. I hope you guys have a great day, and I love you, and we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye. I'm going to sneak up on Remus. He's napping. Oh, I think he got me. Should go say hi to Remus.
Remus, say hi to all the friends. Say hi, 3rd grade. I'm just taking a nap.
This is his napping spot.
Say hi. Yeah. Big stretches. All right. Say bye, everybody.